Hey Grande Alive, welcome to Travel Tramps. I'm Will Bowman and this is Samantha LeBold. It's the first episode of our newest show, brought to you by first and foremost Alegre Travel and also Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Valley Realty, Marketplace Family Food, and Grand Hospital. And on this show, Samantha is going to be joining us and taking us across the world with her on some of her trips through Alegre Travel, which is a local travel agency here in the Grande. And today we're going to talk a little bit about group travel. Thank you for joining me today, Samantha.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Will.
So let's talk really briefly about group travel, and then we'll take a look at some pictures. So what is group travel through Alegre Travel, and how is it beneficial and different from just going on a trip on your own?
Well, group travel has gotten kind of a bad name over the past few years because there's a lot of people that think that they are too confined. They have to stick to a really strict schedule. And a lot of people don't like to do that. However, after being on some group tours myself, I personally, it's the only way that I would travel in a foreign country. There is a lot of stress involved as far as when you're driving in an unfamiliar country, especially if you're in a country that they drive on the opposite side of the road with their steering wheels on the opposite side of the car. It's downright dangerous to cross the streets in lots of countries. So
we're spoiled here in the Grande. You can jaywalk and people will stop unless you pause right past.
And then they don't even look.
And they wave.
I know. But unfortunately, people still want to do it. They still want to do the independent drive tours, and they always come back. And not always, but a lot of times they regret it because they spent so much time trying to find their way around, and the driver doesn't get to see the sights and the experience, they have the same experience that the passenger has.
Sure.
So the group tours eliminate that stress because you get to sit on an air-conditioned motor coach, and almost all of them have Wi-Fi now. So and then you just drive around the places and you get to look out the big windows and see all the pretty stuff, and you just get to relax and enjoy yourself a little more. Group travel is it's stress-free, it's worry-free. Most of the times they're an all-inclusive package. They include all your meals, they include all your entrance fees into the sites that you're going to see. They include you don't have to touch your luggage other than to unpack it in the hotel room and pack it back in. They really take care of everything for you.
Wow.
You're going to see the best places to go to. Your guides are absolutely invaluable. You're going to have local guides from where you're at, and they give you all kinds of insightful information. When we went to Ireland for one of our group tours, our guide actually took us to a place that wasn't on our itinerary, and it ended up being one of everybody's most favorite stops on the tour. So, and when you make good friends, you bond with people. It's just a very pleasurable experience. I enjoy it thoroughly. I love group tours myself.
So that sounds really fun. So speaking of group travel, let's take a look at some pictures. You have some pictures for us to show us today. Tell us what's going on here.
This is my most recent group tour. I took 12 individuals down to Peru, and we hiked the Inca Trail this last summer. This summer. And
it all blurs together.
We hiked into Machu Picchu, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it was amazing. And as you can see, everybody's pretty happy. That's the very first day. We're just getting ready to head out. We're pretty happy. We don't know exactly what we're in for at that point, but by the end of the tour, I can tell you that we were very close, very close. And so that was probably, I can't say it's my favorite group tour that I've done, but it was a pretty special one.
Very, very cool. So you talked a little bit about the Guinness, about the Ireland trip, and this looks like that's where you are there.
Yes, that's exactly where we are. This was my very first group tour. I took 44 people from the Grande, Wallowa County area.
That's a lot of people.
There was some other people from out other places, but mostly it was local people. And we went for 2 weeks in September of 2014, and we traveled. We started in northern Scotland and ferried over to Northern Ireland and down through the west coast of Ireland and down into parts of Southern Ireland, ended up in Dublin. And this was the trip where our guide took us to the Belfast Wall in Northern Ireland, and it was absolutely amazing. But as you can see, we're in front of the Guinness factory right there, and we're having a great time together.
It looks fun. And what do we got here?
That was two of the individuals on our trip. That was Bill and Kelly Mahon, and they are standing in front of the Eileen Donald Castle in Scotland. And they're happy. You see how happy those group people are?
They do look happy. They're certainly not crying. So what about this? More castles.
Yes, again, that is my group in front of the Stirling Castle in Scotland. Again, we had a great time.
Castles and happy.
Yes.
That's the theme of those pictures.
And there we are again. We are out in the middle of the Ring of Kerry somewhere. It's called Ladies View. I don't know what else to say. This is a wonderful group.
Still don't know why it was called Ladies View.
And there's another one.
I think that's the same castle.
It's correct? The same castle,
yeah.
Just a smaller group. Not everybody's in that, obviously, but we had such a great time that I actually am taking 25 more people at the end of this month to Scotland and Ireland again. So
that does sound fun. My girlfriend and I have oftentimes talked about going to Ireland and Scotland, and so that would be super, super fun. I don't think we can afford it this time, but we're going to keep you in mind when we decide we want to go.
Ireland and Scotland are good because you don't have a language barrier.
Yeah.
They actually speak English, and so you can communicate really well.
Well, and everybody loves beer, so everyone's won at the Guinness factory, right?
Yes, yes. The Guinness factory was incredible.
So this looks like someplace different.
Yeah, this is a tour that we did in October. That was the fall foliage tour, and we went back east to Boston. We drove up through the countryside and looked at all of the pretty fall colors. We went up into Vermont, and it was. I would have to look at the map to know exactly where we went. But one of our stops were at Martha's Vineyard. We got to go out onto Martha's Vineyard and experience where all the wealthy, to-do people live and play. And we went to Kennebunkport, Maine, which was I loved that little town. We, on the last day, got to do, several of us did the Freedom Trail all around Boston. But again, as you can see, we're a pretty happy bunch. A lot of the people that were on this tour had actually gone to Ireland and Scotland with me also.
Sure.
And so they've enjoyed themselves, and so they're signing up for future ones.
So the Freedom Trail.
There's the Freedom Trail. That's Barb Malone and Barb Mingy, and they just completed it. Pretty happy campers. Great trip.
Feeling very free.
Yes. Oh, you're funny.
Yeah, sometimes.
So there we are again.
One more castle.
That was another castle. That was one we actually got to spend the night in. It was like I don't remember exactly what the name of it was, but that was our last night. We were all pretty sad to go. That was right outside of Dublin. As you can see, this is our last day, and everybody still likes each other.
Yeah, I was going to say, spending long times on trips together can be fun, because you get to know each other very intimately, sometimes too intimately. But, if you can all, at the end, still be, friends, then you can count that trip as success.
Interestingly enough, I just have one little thing that I'd like to say.
Sure.
I had a couple of people that came and had a conversation with me before this tour. They signed up, and talking about exactly what I talked to you about before, not wanting to stay with the group. What if we don't want to do what the group is doing?
Sure.
And so we discussed that, and you don't have to stay with everybody else if you don't want to.
Sure.
You can go off and do your own thing. You just have to know when to be back to get on the bus to go places.
Sure.
But when the end of the tour came around, they had not left our side. That couple that was so concerned that they weren't going to like being around everybody, they did everything that we did. They stayed with us. They had a great time. It
sounds like a lot of fun. So what I will say is it sounds super, super fun. And I think we're out of time. But Samantha, thank you for coming and talking to us about group travel. And Grande Live, be sure to tune in more for more.
One more thing.
Sure, go for it.
I just wanted to mention that we have some more group tours coming up.
What's coming up?
We have, in 2017, we have Cindy, and she's taking a group to Italy in April. June, the Inca Trail was so successful that we're going back in June. Again, there's only 12 spaces available, and I've already filled 5, and that was just within the last few days. So that'll fill up fast. I'm taking another group to Paris. We're sailing a river the Rhine, from Paris to Prague in August. And then we'll be going to Morocco in, I think it's October. And so if anybody's interested in traveling with us, they can give us a call.
That sounds great. And that's Alegre Travel. And whether or not they come with you physically, I hope that Grande Alive will be coming with you via this show. So thanks, Grande Alive, for tuning in. Be sure to tune in for more Travel Tramps as Samantha continues her obsession with traveling around the world and invites us in to experience just a little bit of a piece of it. Thanks, Grande Alive, and see you next time.